What if the biggest battle of our time isn't fought with guns or bombs, but with dollars and microchips? This isn't about land, it's about power. Right now, the US and China are in quiet yet intense showdown. Every trade deal, tech breakthrough, and financial sanction is like a move on a massive chessboard. But here's the twist. This isn't just about two superpowers clashing. This showdown shapes our economy, jobs, and even the tech we use daily. So how far does this hidden war really go? And more importantly, what does it mean for you? Stick around, this could totally change the way you see the world. My name is Shyam, and let's unravel this thread. Let's talk about decoupling between the US and China. Picture two roommates who have been sharing an apartment for years. They split rent, share the Wi-Fi, and even sync up their Netflix binges. But now, they're thinking about going their separate ways. That's decoupling in a nutshell, untangling two deeply connected economies. Over the past few decades, the US and China have been like those roommates, super connected, especially when it comes to manufacturing and technology. But lately, they have both been trying to reduce their dependence on each other. The US wants to rely less on China for manufacturing, while China is working hard to build its own tech, so it doesn't need US as much. So what does that look like? A lot of US companies are moving their factories out of China to places like Vietnam, India, and Mexico. And it's not just about cheap labor. It's about spreading their bets, diversifying supply chains, and avoiding risks that come with being tied to one country. Meanwhile, China is all in on becoming tech independent, especially when it comes to making semiconductors, so they don't have to rely on US tech. But here's the catch. Decoupling isn't as easy as it sounds. It's not just packing your bags and moving out. It's more like trying to untangle a bowl of spaghetti. For example, if your favorite phone company moves its production out of China, the new costs could make the phone a lot pricier. Beyond costs, a sudden split could shake up the global economy. Breaking up too fast might disrupt supply chains, slow growth, and even trigger a recession. So while decoupling might seem like a smart move to avoid risks, it's way more complicated than it sounds. It's not just two countries going their separate ways. It's a global shift that could impact everything, from prices we pay to the stability of entire markets. Let's talk semiconductors, those tiny chips that keep the modern world running. Without them, your phone wouldn't scroll, your car wouldn't move, and your gaming console, just a really expensive paperweight. Semiconductors are powering everything, from laptops to fighter jets, making them essential to modern technology. The US and China are in an intense battle to dominate this critical industry. Untangling global chip supply chains involves thousands of interlinked companies, meaning every small disruption ripple across industries. Here's why it's such a big deal. Whoever controls semiconductors essentially controls the future. Think about it. If your rival has the best tech while you're stuck with something as outdated as dial-up, you're in trouble. It's not just about gadgets, it's about global power. So what's the US doing? They're playing defense and offense. Washington has placed restrictions on exporting advanced chips to China and has pressured allies like Japan and Netherlands to do the same. On top of that, there's the CHIPS Act, a $52 billion initiative to make the supply chain more made in America and less made in China. China isn't just sitting back though. They have been pouring billions into building their own semiconductor industry. But here's the problem. Making cutting-edge chips isn't as simple as throwing money at the issue. It requires top-tier equipment, decades of experience, and expertise that can't be rushed. Right now, China still heavily depends on Taiwan's TSMC, the world's chip-making superstar. TSMC produces around 90% of the world's most advanced semiconductors. Yep, 90%. No wonder Taiwan is such a geopolitical hotspot. And let's be clear, untangling these global chip supply chains involves thousands of interlinked companies, making even small disruption ripple across industries. For instance, blocking chip exports might slow down China's tech advancements, but it disrupts global markets, making it everyone's problem. This semiconductor battle is like a tech Cold War, and the stakes couldn't be higher. It's not just about faster gadgets or fancier computers. It's about who leads in artificial intelligence, defense systems, and ultimately, global power. So the next time your smartphone loads instantly, take a moment to appreciate that tiny chip at the heart of one of the biggest geopolitical fights of our time. Trade restrictions and financial risks might sound boring, but this is where the real drama unfolds. It's not just about taxes on goods or currencies, it's about how the US and China are playing an intense chess match with the world economy as their board. Every single move they make hits all of us in some way. Let's start with trade restrictions. The US has slapped tariffs on hundreds of billions of dollars worth of Chinese goods, things like furniture, electronics, and household items. China fired back with tariffs on soybeans, cars, and a bunch of other products. Fair fight, right? Not exactly. These tariffs don't just hurt the opponent, they hurt both sides. US businesses relying on cheap Chinese manufacturing now face higher costs, and Chinese exporters selling to the US are feeling the pain too. It's like two people fighting over cake but smashing it in the process. Nobody gets dessert and everyone's hangry. Now let's get into financial risks where things get even messier. The US has been throwing around sanctions blocking China's access to resources and global financial markets. It's basically the economic version of "you can't sit with us." Meanwhile, China is making a bold move to elevate the yuan as the global currency to rival the US dollar. They're encouraging countries to trade in yuan instead of dollars, which could seriously shake up America's financial dominance. Imagine if dollar wasn't the global MVP anymore. Yeah, that would send shockwaves everywhere. And here's the thing. This tit for tat isn't just hurting the US and China, it's messing with the whole world. Trade restrictions drive inflation by raising prices on goods, while financial battles disrupt investment and slow global growth. And if either of these two economic giants stumble, the ripple effects could lead to a global financial meltdown. A meltdown of this scale could disrupt industries, investments, and employment worldwide. So yeah, trade restrictions and financial risk might sound dull, but they are shaping the prices we pay, the opportunities we get, and even the stability of our financial systems. Let's talk about how this economic tug-of-war between the US and China hits closer to home than you might actually think. You hear terms like trade restrictions and economic decoupling and think, not my problem. But here's the thing, it totally is, because it's messing with your wallet, your daily life, often in ways you don't even notice. First off, let's talk prices. Have you noticed your phone, laptop, or even your favorite sneakers costing more? That's not just inflation, it's this economic war in action. When companies move manufacturing from China to places like Vietnam or India because of trade restrictions, their costs go up. Why? Because China had the most efficient supply chains, and setting up shop elsewhere is expensive. And guess who foots the bill? Yep, that's on us. But it's not just electronics. Even your groceries are feeling the heat. A global recession could also be on the horizon if the US and China escalate trade restrictions, causing businesses to slow down and jobs to disappear. Even without a full-on recession, instability has a way of creeping in. With businesses facing uncertainty, they pull back. That means fewer jobs, smaller raises, and fewer chances to move up. And let's not forget, this isn't just a them problem. When two biggest economies go head to head, everyone from Europe to Asia to Africa feels the shockwaves. It's like watching two giants brawl in the middle of the room. No one escapes the fallout. So what's the big takeaway here? This economic war between the US and China isn't just about two giants battling it out. It's about how their moves ripple into our everyday lives. Whether it's higher price tag on your favorite gadgets, fewer job opportunities, or rising grocery bills. These decisions might seem distant, but they directly impact the way we live, work, and spend. And here's the twist. This isn't just about trade policies or economic strategies. The fight for dominance is spilling into a whole new arena, one that's even more complex and potentially more dangerous: the digital battlefield. In our next video, we'll break down how technology and AI are fueling a modern arms race. From AI-powered weapons to cyber warfare, quantum computing to the emerging digital Cold War, we'll dig into how these advancements are reshaping global power and what that means for you. How do you think this economic war will shape the future? Share your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives. Until next time, stay safe.